Kevin Cordeiro, upper school history teacher and aspiring principal. So for the majority of like my high school career, I wanted to be a mechanic. And then I had a really tough talk with my dad one day, who's always been a factory worker. And he talked about the idea of working 12-hour days, 5 days a week, and coming home absolutely beaten and exhausted. And how he really, really wanted something else for me. I think for whatever reason in our culture, being a teacher is seen as something that you either fall into or something that happens because you couldn't do something else. In my family's culture, and I think in a lot of other cultures outside of this country, that's not the case, right? Being a teacher is something that you aim for. Why history? Was because I felt like history gave me the most opportunities to have conversations with you guys about some really meaningful things in life. About the fact that your income, what college you graduate from, what car you drive, what bills you have or haven't paid means so very little when we're 6 feet underground and the only thing that we really have for the people that we leave are the memories that we make with them. And so if you're a decent person, if you've done good in the world, if you've tried your best to right wrongs, I don't care what else you did. I will always be proud to say that you were my student. I taught at a career and tech school before this, and so most of my experiences were either with a hyper-traditional academic classroom or in a career and tech environment. And the career and tech environment was really based on standards and like what the national industry or associations or organizations wanted us to do. This was different. This was open. There was a tremendous amount of freedom in terms of what we could teach and how we could teach it. And there was way more interpretation of what effective learning looked like. And I loved that from the get-go. There was a decent amount of time where I was thinking about what I wanted to do with this as a history class versus what I thought at the time might be best for you guys as the students. I felt like if I just came in there and kind of changed everything up, does this feel like some new guy who's just coming in, taking over and not respecting what was done before? Would that inconsistency have totally thrown you guys off? So for a while, those first few weeks and even those first few months, was me just trying to figure out how I could keep the consistency for you guys while at the same time shifting things to fit the way that I see history as an academic field. Every interaction I've ever had with an administrator at a school, when I was a kid, when I was a student, administrators in college, to being a teacher and working as a teacher, had been either wholly negative or tinged with a lot of problematic power dynamics. And that changed when I came to TAPA. And when I worked with Miss RH and when I worked with Mr. Mack and Miss Bryant, it was a totally different culture of what being an administrator meant. My goal is to one day create a school for people who want to be teachers. We won't talk about high lows. We won't talk about how those went. I love the idea of the fact that I had you guys, or I have you guys, until you graduate. Who you were in 8th grade when I first met you all versus who you are now as juniors are different people. If I can have what I would consider to be your best interests at heart in every interaction I had with you guys, it would figure itself out. Balancing the tremendous amount of weirdness that we have in one room at one time would figure itself out. I like to think that it has. So if 5 years from now, every one of my advisees invites me to their college graduation, that will be my proudest moment. And that'll mean way more than any certification, awards, anything that happens to me professionally is nothing compared to knowing that your lives are the way you want it to be. That every door you wanted to walk through has been opened for you.
That calls for it's a wrap.
Oh, no. Oh no.
Come on, Kevin.
Oh no. Oh, fine. Good job.